Good morning. Good morning. It is 2:50 a.m. I am on my way to the gym right now. And I was just thinking about how easy it is for us to get caught up in the here and the now. I think the most impressive phrase that I've heard recently was that our best days are ahead of us. And sometimes we press forward as if we don't have enough time, or we press forward as it's not going to happen, or it seems like we just get caught up in our own mind. We forget what we done been through. The current situation always looks worse than it is. We can't see a way out. I mean, it's just, if it ain't one thing, it's another that we're mentally just kind of racing our minds through. Never once stopping to think. And that's why they say it's important that you're in gratitude. It's important that you have a sense of thankfulness, because that sense of thankfulness and gratitude is what brings you back. So it's been a constant, especially as of lately, because there's things that are going up, there's things that's going down. I mean, like in the span of a day, there's so much happening in my life and in this journey and this season that literally you can go from a straight up high first thing in the morning all the way through a bunch of blows. I told my wife, I said, man, it feels like it's like, dude, you have no idea. I've already been beat up. Life has already beat me up 4 or 5 times, but you can never tell that it's beat me up, because my sense of gratitude, my sense of thankfulness, or just my sense of reflection of other times, like I can always reflect back on other times when it was worse. And if you can compare it, if you can compare worse to now, and you can come out of it and you can say, well, I'm glad I ain't there no more, right? It gives you a whole different feeling. But we forget. See, I can call them techniques and tricks and ways to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself from thinking about what's wrong. But really, it says that you're supposed to be in gratitude. The word says that you're supposed to be thankful. And I wonder why it says that. Because when you're thankful, then you're grateful, and you already know things will turn around. And when you have a sense of gratitude, you know that this ain't the worst that you've been through. I can't recall a time worse than when I was sitting in that holding cell, and I never forget, the detective came up to the cell, little tiny cell, probably not even as big as this car. And I remember him saying, yeah, we already know what's going on. Why don't you tell us? And if you're from the streets and a police officer walk up to you talking about, we already know what's going on, that means they don't know what's going on. Because if you already knew what was going on, you wouldn't have asked me. We already know what's going on. Why don't you tell us the rest? Nah, dude, you don't know. But I remember him coming to my cell. I remember him coming to the holding tank that I was sitting in the jail. And I remember him saying, okay, suit yourself. He said, but you're going away for a long time. Listen, I can raise my voice to my daughter about a fruit snack she ain't getting, and she will flip. I can tell my son I'm not going to a field trip, and he will flip. I can say something to my oldest son that may affect his emotions briefly. Can you imagine being 6 years old and you're in a holding cell and they say, you're going to go away for a long time. You're going to go away for a long time. It was a horrible feeling. It was a very horrible feeling. So even if I just hold on to that, which I don't, that must have been the first time that I reflected back on that. But that was the most vivid memory of something that had hit me that really was like, wow, man, I did not think I was going to come back from that. How could you? That's 16 years ago. You're 16 years old. For me, that's 24 years ago. Who would have known? Who would have thunk it? Right? But it's things like that you can go back through and you can say, you know what? It's not so bad. I want it to be better. I don't want these problems. I don't want to fear. I don't want to have the same problem. But you know, I'm not going to worry about this. This too shall pass. And you move on. And you have no fear. And you're thankful. Because deep down, really inside, you know that it could be worse. You understand that. And you're thankful that it's not. But we forget. That is some of the most fun. Because now, I'm at a point where I can look at other people's situation and I can laugh. Not laugh like, haha, I'm happy it's happened to you, but laugh like, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. I know. It feels like the end of the world. You'll be okay. You'll survive. The world's not going to end right now. It's just a scratch. It's just a boo-boo. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that there's ways that you can get around everything being so life-threatening. Everything being so urgent. And find a space. This lady called me and she called me and she was telling me about my business, and she was saying, we're offering a program that allows us to handle your marketing and your social media and how you connect with your clients. I said, well, I like that part of my job. I like that part. I like my social media and I like connecting with my clients. And she says, well, don't you feel like you're leaving something on the table? Don't you feel like you're not able to connect with all of them? It seems like kind of a tedious process that you're going through. Maybe you should have somebody. Don't you think you should? That's what she said. Don't you think? Like, I stayed on the phone with her for about 10, 15 minutes because I was driving. I felt like I could get the training. I can get the little sales training in by just talking to this lady, because she was adamant about trying to get me to buy something. So that's why I'm just going to stay on the phone with her, and I'll just keep rebutting everything that she says. Every time she tried to close me, I'll open it back up for discussion. Every time she tried to close me, I'll go right back into a reason why I don't need those services. But I would do it with respect. So we had this conversation. She said, well, wouldn't you, don't you feel like you could be spending your time doing other things? I said, ma'am, this is a business for people. What else is there for me to do? You can't automate the way that I act. You can't automate the way that I will react. What she was trying to do was sell me urgency. What I was trying to tell her was, there is none. Because I had already figured out that what she was trying to sell me was something that I already had. And it wasn't a great waste of my time. It was the best possible use of my time. Because the truth of the matter is, I can only hang out with my family so much before I'm like, I got to get back to work, dog. I love what I do. I love how I split my time. I love how it's balanced. But things happen. And the dirty little secret is, it's never going to stop happening. So you either figure out some ways, some techniques to eliminate having a constant breakdown every single time something happens. Or you're going to spend a lot of time worrying because it's not going to stop coming at you. Oh yeah, it may be different, but it's always going to be something. And that you have to be prepared for. Because it's always going to be something.